Join us at Ashili Sports as we break down the thrilling match between Manchester United and Chelsea to see whether we can give you the tactical analysis, the tactical play down of this game. It was just incredible, but then the nail-biting 1-1 draw wasn't expected in Old Trafford. But hey, it's a point gotten from United, but I still blame Chelsea for that. With me is Kay and also Sammy, and we will be giving you more details into the game at Old Trafford. If you just join us and you are new, remember to hit the subscription button, like and share the video. What's up? Welcome to Ashili Sports. Sammy, the mentality that Chelsea put out this game wasn't what I was expected because I wanted a direct approach. I wanted an intensity as they always show us in the previous game. But going into the game, it looks like the tactically or maybe the mentality that they sent into the game of the first half wasn't just what I expected. Do you see what I saw in that game?
I was a bit confused looking at the way the game was unfolding, especially as you mentioned earlier, because Enzo Maresca so far has shown that directness, has shown that constant press. But in this kind of game, it was more or less like it was a layback from the Chelsea setup. And unfortunately for United too was also laid back. Both teams were all laid back, and I think they did not have that vigor in this game. Games like this should bring that energy. I really do not like the energy of this game at all. We all saw the El Clasico, the energy it brought from start to the end. I don't see this game like that. But then, at the end of the day, I also understand Enzo because it's been a very long time since Chelsea winning at the Old Trafford. So maybe in a way, he actually knew that it favors United, so he just go in slowly and build up upon that. But then, yeah, I think the game was really, really poor from both sides.
Yeah, the game was really poor from both sides. Okay, United, as we know, for since 2014, yeah, Chelsea have never won in Old Trafford. So going into this game, United sacked Eric Ten Hag. Ruud van Nistelrooy going in won his first game in Old Trafford. But today, I think the hopes were very, very high. He himself said after the post-match press conference that he's not happy he didn't get the whole 3 points from Chelsea. Do you think it was fully deserved for United?
Thank you, Ashili, and let me say good evening to your viewers because they've been faithful to you. Looking at the match, I think 1-1 is just about the right scoreline for the game. As Sammy said, I think both teams were reluctant to play, or they were reluctant to engage in this sort of football that we are used to. Like he made comparison to the El Clasico we watched last week between Real Madrid and Barcelona. It was end-to-end action. You understand? And looking at these two big clubs coming from England, we were expecting a more intense sort of football, but unfortunately we didn't see that. I think Chelsea's approach to the match was based on the fact that United were able to score 5 goals for the first time in this season against Leicester City. So they were a little bit scared that maybe they've sacked Ten Hag and the players were like they've been gingered up to, prove a point. So I think Chelsea was a little bit reluctant to play the football that they are used to.
Yeah. So this game was crucial for both clubs. I think both of them are not new when it comes to intensity of this clash. But then in the end of the day, I think I wasn't so impressed, but particularly Chelsea, because this is a club that we know that they are coming up and United is struggling. So they should have capitalized this game to get onto the third position of the Premier League. Well, I can also blame Chelsea too much because this is United that was looking to get that 3 points, because if they had lost this game, it could have been their lowest points record in Premier League ever since Alex Ferguson era. So I think it's well understood. But then Maresca has been talking about Ruud van Nistelrooy, his teammate at Mallorca. He was his teammate at Mallorca, and they are so friends as well. And he was talking of how he would give him a big hug. But preparing to this game as well, do you think it was a bit like changer of Maresca preparation to this game? Because tactically, I didn't see what I was looking for.
Yeah, looking at the tactics of the game, I'm really sorry to say this, but both coaches were not on point this time around. They all, as I said earlier, they were all, I don't know whether they were all anxious to go in full swing. They all wanted to play it on a low key, then maybe later on they built into the game. Honestly, if you look at the tactical side of the view, I think United had a slightly chance above Chelsea. They had some chances that I think if they were a bit clinical, they should have scored at least 2 or 3 goals. But looking at the other side of Chelsea too, we could see that the yellow card also disturbed some of the players. So therefore a change was made. When you go to the goalkeeping side, I think that is where I want to base on. With the Chelsea goalkeeper Sanchez, I think he was in a big panic. And though the contact was small, that's what happened. Made the penalty coming. But then both teams were boring. So when the goals came in, looking at a very classic goal from Caicedo, in fact, a brilliant goal. And that goal, if you look at from the tactical side, you see that United should not allow that to happen. They were all caught ball watching. Whilst we know that this guy has this talent, he can hit the ball, and he really hits it so sweetly. And after that, I saw a little bit of energy. I saw Garnacho trying to show something. And Zegzi, I rest my case. I really don't understand. I don't understand. You are a young striker. You have been giving you a ball and look like he was jogging. Like this. This is Manchester Chelsea. Same thing with this Ukrainian guy. He came in and he was all over the place. I was like, what is happening? This is a competition where we used to have the best of the best. Now it looks like it's a mediocre game going on. But then, as you said earlier, it's point shared, and I think Enzo Maresca and Ruben Nistelrooy will just shake hands and say that hey, we did what we could do, and that's what happened.
Eddie, well,
Actually,
this is a game that probably you were not actually happy, or maybe happy with Chelsea meeting you at this crucial point in the Premier League. But then you got a point from Chelsea. Do you think it was really
what do you
worth
mean
it?
by we got? What do you mean by we got a point from Chelsea? Actually, reframe your statement.
Come again, come again.
Okay.
Come again.
Okay. In the end, it was 1-1.
Yeah.
What's your take on Rui Van Nistelrooy first game in Premier League?
All right. So as a Manchester United fan, I'm very sad. Because our expectation was probably to win against Chelsea. Of course. Yeah, that was what we played for. But it's just unfortunate that points were being shared in Old Trafford. Yeah. So
Points were still shared in Old Trafford. I look at Enzo Maresca's defensive work. He really see that Chelsea defensively we are struggling. So one thing that he actually do is in sort of playing the back four. He actually made an extra man getting into the midfield, like just not allowing United midfield to operate. But I didn't see anything like unusual about it because we already know United midfield is not all that good that can attack. So extra man in the midfield could have give our players, our up front, a little bit to create more chances, but that didn't happen. That was why like I'm still looking at what is really happening. But okay, Moises Caicedo, an incredible midfielder, a
Brilliant player.
masterclass of a midfielder, stole the show from every midfielder in the game. And at the end, he has been the man of the match.
Yeah.
Do you think it was it?
Yeah, of course. He was everywhere. I think he covered ground more than any player on the field. You understand? Because at some point I was seeing him at the number 2 position, number 3 position. I was like, what position is this guy playing? He was all over the field and he dominated the midfield. He played very good football. And like Sami said, he is well noted for this sort of arriving late and shooting. So United should have had that at the back of their mind that look, we cannot leave this sort of players that have eye for goals at this range. You cannot do that. They were caught ball watching, and then unfortunately for United, they got punished. I think they will learn a lesson from this. And Caicedo, brilliant player, brilliant player.
Brilliant player. Sammy, we all know Martinez, how like dirty he has been playing his defensive football. And today, eyes was put on him with Cole Palmer, the stamp he came in with. Don't you think that he deservedly should have gotten a red card in that game?
Yeah, so first, I will not say he's a dirty player, but he's a hard player. And that's what you need a defender like
yeah.
that. And looking at the
It's still
tackle,
the same thing, dirty and hard.
it's very different. Dirty players are players who let's move forward. Looking at the foul, I think personally, I think it should have been a red card for Kopama lifting the ball over him and he going for the knee and down to the legs. But when they explained this, there was a bit discussion, I understood why he was given a yellow card, because they said that the intensity of the leg, the speed that it went, wasn't that fast to cause a severe damage. That is why a yellow card. But usually if it's other referees, they'll just go straight forward to giving a red card, because I don't think that was necessary at that stage. It was not necessary. Kopama just take the ball, then just it's normal, push him or shove him. But going for the knee, I think it was really bad. Luckily for Kopama is that he did not get injured, and he walked off and he continued to play. So I think Martinez is a hard player and a defender. Every team needs someone like that who cause care to the strikers. But I don't think he intentionally did that to hurt Kopama.
Yeah, but I just believe that if it was other way around, Chelsea could have received red card in this game. We know England referees. No, it's a fact.
Let's be fair. Let's be fair. Let's be fair here. Although you're a
Right?
Chelsea fan, we know you're a Chelsea fan. But say if it was Chelsea, how was a soft?
No,
He
I'm
didn't
not
go with a
mentioning
bad intention.
He
Listen,
even slipped.
Eddie.
He
listen.
even
Sometimes
slipped.
you go with
He
Eddie,
slipped.
Eddie, listen to
yeah.
what I
So
said. I didn't
yeah.
said it was. I said if it was other way around, any
Ah,
other destiny, it could have been red. Whether Chelsea, Brighton, or any other player, they could have given red card on that. Then they wouldn't even blame the referee.
listen. The VAR, the people in the room, yeah. Sometimes they take their time to analyze the game as well as we watching the game, as we fans watching the game, So sometimes they will even go for appeals on red cards, It's because of the intention behind, So the intention wasn't to hurt the player,
And
So
he even
in that
slipped. He
scenario, why would
even
they give you a red
slipped.
card?
He
No,
slipped.
but
He slipped.
one thing that you need to understand is every player intention is not to hurt their opponent, but when it
Yeah.
happens, it's a foul, whether
Yeah.
yes or yes. And so let's forget
Yeah.
about the intent. I'm just saying, English referees, we know them. When it comes to United games, right now they are happy that United have sacked Eric Ten Hag because they didn't like Eric Ten Hag, and most of the decisions were going against him. Yeah, we understand that, but right now let's focus on what happened in the field. Most of the 50-50 fouls that I think would have just been ignored, he was taking it for United. That one was a fact. But then, yeah, probably you might not see it because you were so serious about the game. Sammy?
No, but I was being neutral. I don't think the referee was doing that. I think what he actually did was
Yes.
he wanted the game to flow. He did
Yeah.
not want those stoppages because this is a big game. And the foul we are talking about, as I said, personally, I think it was supposed to be a red card. But then when the communication came, it was like it was not so much. So he at that point the referee has the opportunity to be lenient on the player, and that's what he did. But usually other referees too will go for a red card.
Other referee will go for red card for sure.
It was a big match, and you don't destroy a big match like that. You understand? Sometimes the referees they use their conscience. Was the player hurt? No. So why then don't we move on? Because it was a big match, and you can't destroy a big match like that.
Well, in all indications, I blame Chelsea and Maresca. But Eddie, take us
Actually,
through after the penalty, what went on? Because after the penalty and the goal scored, the game completely changed to that world class Chelsea versus Manchester United we're looking for. What actually changed that game like that?
yeah, I think the main reason was because the goal came, the intensity of the game changed, sometimes if you are dying, you fight with your hot blood. So that was what Chelsea showcased in the game because they were down by a goal. You saw a different side of Chelsea, probably trying to equalize the game, equalize their down goal to probably speed up the game. So the intensity of the game changed, and the goal came, but unfortunately, points were a lot of chances were missed. Some chances were missed. United could have easily carried the day with I think 2 goals to 1 or 3 goals to 1. But it's just unfortunate. Just a normal day, for points being shared.
A normal day for sure because Luis Van Nistelrooy was actually looking forward to steal this show from Enzo Maresca, but Enzo Maresca was too smart because he decided to be on a low block to either counter-attack if Chelsea are pressing higher. But then, hey, Maresca was also too smart
But
not to
when the
attack.
game, like in the first I think 5-10 minutes of the game, United were I think we were the best in the game. We started the game very, very well, but
Yeah.
Obviously,
You Chelsea people thought you were going to have a walk in the park, and then unfortunately that didn't happen. You
yeah.
know, United is a big club. Class is permanent, like I've always been saying. Class is permanent, form is temporary, even though we are struggling. But then remember, just some few matches ago, Chelsea was struggling as well. You understand? So they still have this thing at the back of their head that look, if we make mistakes, we are going to get punished by United. So they approach the game tactically. They wanted to play more of a counter-attacking football than those sort of pass and move and possessive tiki-taka sort of football. So it worked for both teams. Even though the game was boring, yet it worked for both teams because at the end of the day, it's a 1-1 scoreline.
Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for your time. And if you just join us and you are new, remember to hit the subscription button. And hey, we will see you in the next video. Ciao.